here, I'll just tell you kind of how this like portfolio reviews go. Josh and I used to do portfolio reviews at Blue Sky. And so they would give us like 30 links to look at. All right, here's 30 people. Look at them. It's in an afternoon. We're like, oh, I mean, nothing against the people, but we're looking at 30 different things in one afternoon can be a little tiring. So what winds up standing out, it's not beautiful drawings. It really isn't. Certainly not for me. But it's like a funny idea that's executed really well. And if the drawings aren't the best, I don't care. I'm like, check out this idea. That's really funny. And those are the things that stand out when we're looking at like 30 different portfolios at once. When we were like, Josh and I were helping to choose who the story trainees were going to be for that year or the interns.
Yeah.
And we never picked someone because their drawings were beautiful. It was always like, what
And you did. Other people did. Me and you were always like,
no, we didn't care about the drawings.
you just want to make everything as easy as possible for people to look at. So if that means you even just put some stuff in there that's not NDA, but you want that one NDA thing because you like it, just send them that link and the password,
So it's just one page, so it's easy access for them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You want to make it as easy as possible. I think Moroni said this the other week, but sometimes they would bring us in a room to do portfolio reviews. And it's like, if they load up the person's website and within 10 seconds, if the person the PA, whoever's working the computer, and they can't figure out like what the button is or which window to look at or whatever, it's like, we just go next. We just don't have time. It's not that we don't want to. It's just like they want us to look at 30 things while they also want us to finish our sequence by the end of the day. It's just like, so you just want to make everything as easy as possible for any potential employer.
Like when you're doing your portfolio, don't like make cool logos and crap. Just put your name, your contact, and your very best story sample in click-through format. And then your second best, and then your third best, because you're really only going to look at one. If one's amazing, all right, let's see what their second one is.
Yeah. Put the best one first, definitely.
Yeah. And just make it simple. No, like, oh, look how cool I can write my name. Like, nobody cares. We just want to see the storyboards. What kills a storyboard portfolio dead in the water is when you got like a bunch of little drawings and like 4 across and 3 down. Like, I cannot look at that. No, I hate it.
It makes sense. It makes sense, but it's not how we board anymore. It's like, we board panels now. It's like, it has to be, we have to see how it looks because we're sending it to editorial. It's like, yeah, the stat sheet where it's all like a little comic book. It's like, in theory, it makes sense. But especially when we're all in a room and they're putting on a screen, it's like, we won't even see that. And the reality is I'm more of a rhythm person. Like I want to feel what they're doing, not look at what they're doing. I want to feel it. But that is something that is more of a modern, it's more of a result of going digital, which is the expectations and the demands on story have gotten higher in terms of like, we are articulating ideas. We are, all the stuff we've been talking about. Right. I think for everybody who's trying to sort of crack and break into the industry, I think put forward what you feel showcases you the best, showcases your talents the best, your skills, and what you want to do. Because sometimes it's like, I've gotten jobs from studios that I've turned down. I mean, that was in a time when there was more jobs. I don't know that I would do that right now, but I've gotten, offers in the past where I could weigh different options. And there were certain ones where I was just like, I just don't think I'll have as much fun at this place. Cause I want to do more stuff like this, And so, again, that's sort of, the industry ebbs and flows, right? And it's definitely, I would say it's not a time to be picky or choosy. And especially when you're younger, it's like, you'll learn any job you take, you're going to learn for better or for worse. So just do what you think is best for you, puts your best foot forward. And if you look at something and you go, you know what, I think it could be better. That's fine. Take some time, update it, redraw it, add the background, Seth, right? It's like, nothing's going to hurt, but it's you just never know who's looking at this stuff. And like I said, me and Moroni, I look at this stuff and we just go, oh, that's funny. Bring that person in. We'll teach them everything else. And they always go, no, they need to draw good. And I'm just like, no, they don't. You hired me. No, they don't. All you can do is put what you think is your best work in front of other people, and then it's out of your hands. But if you feel good about what you've put down, at the end of the day, it's just timing then. It's right. I can't remember if it was with you guys or the other class. Like anytime a studio says no, and you guys hear this all the time, right? You're going to hear no more than you hear yes. And that's just true in life, right? It's like, you're just going to hear that more. But the reality is when studios say no, what they mean is just not now. So when they're looking at your stuff, it just, and they have a specific mandate to fill a certain role. The role might be, hey, we need a senior artist, right? Who can come in and we don't have to train, that can just come in. if they look at your stuff and they go, well, we just don't think that's this person. It's not a knock on you or the work. It's just the reality of sort of where you are and where the production is, right? If they're saying, hey, we need someone who does action, and you show them the funniest stuff they've ever seen, they're still going to say, yeah, not right now, just because that's like, it's like, it's not the mandate of what they need right now. So
when you have a story portfolio, you want to have an end to your story, because as a storyboard artist, you need to show other people that you can tell a story, and not just like, oh, look at this cool setup. Haha, I don't have to finish it. No, finish the story. And this one is kind of a long one, but I recommend that you finish the story, or make it shorter and then finish it. Show what's going to happen. Have a resolve in here. Every storyboard drawing should have a focal point, like the thing that leads to what you want the eye to see. For example, if you look at this thumbnail here, this shelf is pointing to my face, and this lamp is also sort of leaning over. Not the best layout. Of course, I'm just a zoom camera, but in your story drawings, you can control all those things, and you should do that. Also, your construction lines sometimes get in the way of the drawing. Just go back and erase some of those. This makes the drawing a little bit clearer. But
some people have this instinct that, okay, I want to make like a Star Wars for my whole sequence. And it's like, you have all this information and backstory and plot and all this big world. But a storyboard sample, especially in a portfolio, needs to be so concise that if someone is trying to tell me the lore, like a 10-page lore of their world before you even get to like a character or a conflict or a goal, like Moroni was articulating, we're just going to move on, because that's plot. We as audiences don't connect to plot. We connect to characters. And so Moroni's suggestion there of taking a very simple everyday task is a really good example to showcase for you as a board artist how you can invent, how you can take advantage, and how you can manipulate a very sort of recognizable, understandable situation, a very clear idea of a character or couple of characters, and how you can make it the most entertaining, most fulfilling, most dramatic, most comedic, with a clear beginning, middle, and end. And so think about it in terms of that, not in terms of, oh, I want to tell War and Peace as my storyboard sample.
If you're just starting out in storyboarding, you need to do stories. That's really the only way to do it. A bunch of them. Don't just make one and polish it and polish it. No, write 10 stories, board out 10 stories, pick the best one and focus on that. Now, I always tell people your hook, which is the thing that grabs the audience, that needs to happen within the first 5 panels in your portfolio storyboard. Otherwise, people are going to get bored and they're going to be gone. So if you're doing that vegan story, you need to learn in the first 5, maybe 10 at the most panels, that he's vegan and he has to go into a butcher shop. That's your hook.
When Moroni says do 10 stories, they don't have to be giant, big things. They could be very concise, clear vignettes. You could almost think about it like a comic. Like you could tell a funny punchline in 4 panels or 3 panels in a comic. So you can think about that same thing in storyboards. Like it doesn't mean you have to do a 500 panel big saga that has sweeping landscapes and camera moves and all this kind of stuff. You could tell a very efficient, effective story in, say, 30 panels, 50 panels. You're probably economizing some of the panels, not doing all the A's and B's and all the in-between that you may do. If you can convey a compelling story in that short amount of panels, that means you can do it in a bigger sense as well, on a movie, on a TV show. Come up with ideas that showcase you and your sensibilities. If you want to do comedy, come up with situations and sequences and little stories you can tell that are inherently comedic, which is something Moroni and I've talked about a lot before, which is contrast, right? That have that contrast, like the vegan butcher thing. Or if you want to do something that's dramatic, come up with a dramatic scenario and board it with a lot of drama. But in any of those versions, drama, action, comedy, your samples should have a beginning, a middle, and end. Because that's what you're doing as a story artist, is you're telling a story. If we're looking at it and we're going to hire somebody, we need to know that they understand basic principles of storytelling, a basic structure. If you're doing a sample that just sort of teases a bigger story or something, it doesn't really give me much to go off of, because I don't know how you handled the whole story. Yeah. I don't know what the middle was. I don't know what the payoff was. And I don't know if that was effective or not.
Yeah, that's a big no-no. Don't do some amazing setup and it says to be continued. Like, no, I don't want to see that. We want to know that you can end a story, that you can solve story problems. I'll jump on a soapbox here for a minute, because I've seen 1,000 or more portfolios. Drama is not somebody getting murdered. I've seen a ton of storyboards where a sexy girl is walking down an alley and a guy with a knife pops out. That is not drama, and don't storyboard that unless you're going to make it hilarious. Drama is more the intent behind what someone's doing and the dilemma that they face in what they're doing. And then, the best drama is when you don't know what the answer is. Like a choice has to be made and you don't know. Like, how is this going to play out? I don't know if this is good or bad to do this thing that they're doing. An example of that is The Godfather, when Michael Corleone is going to kill his brother Fredo. You're like, ooh, he shouldn't do that. But he needs to because he's ruining the family. Like, that's some real drama there. It's the thinking and the moral values or the moral code that somebody has that makes them do what they do. Like we talked about this yesterday in the character class. That's going to make up good drama. And I would argue that drama and comedy are the same thing, just two different emotions. But the way to get a good comedy or get a good drama all follows the same principles, but they're two different emotions. One's happy and one's sad.